You're listening to the Fort Erie Podcast, your local source for upcoming events, hot new listings, and bite-sized interviews with business and community leaders. Here's your host, Brent Jones.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to episode 0 of the Fort Erie Podcast. Thank you for joining me. And when I say episode 0, what I really mean is this is just kind of an introduction episode. The Fort Erie Podcast Season 1 will officially launch on October the 8th with new episodes every Tuesday. I'm your host, Brent Jones, and for those of you who don't know me, I'm a local real estate agent here in Fort Erie. I work with RE/MAX Niagara, and you might already maybe you're familiar with me a little bit. I don't know. Maybe you've seen some of my Facebook ads before. Maybe you've come out to some of the community events I've hosted this year. I'm not really sure. But either way, if this is our first time connecting, hey, I'm Brent. How are you? My wife and I moved to Fort Erie 5 years ago from Toronto. We love the area. I do everything I can to get involved in the community because I really think that a good realtor should be a good community ambassador. And I love Fort Erie, Greater Fort Erie, Ridgeway, Crystal Beach, Stevensville. And I wanted to put together a weekly show that would be very hyper-local. I'm sure a lot of you have, maybe you already listen to podcasts, or you're certainly aware that podcasts are exploding in popularity. People, oddly enough, in the age of having unlimited video to stream, people are going back to this format of just loving audio. Maybe it's because we can listen to, episodes of our favorite podcasts on the way to work or while we're exercising or whatever it is. But I wanted to put together a show that could really highlight what's going on in our community as far as community events, community news, community leaders, hearing from politicians and business owners, and this type of idea, the kind of stuff, what makes our community great. So our first official episode will be kicking off on October the 8th. And what I encourage you to do is subscribe now to the show. You can subscribe on popular platforms like Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, Spotify. There's a whole bunch of them, or simply visit theforteriepodcast.com. And you'll find links again to some of those popular platforms, or you can stream and listen to each new episode right from that website. So each show will basically break down like this. It'll be under 15 minutes. I really do want to keep episodes sort of bite-sized, just because we're all busy, right? Let's keep things short and simple and to the point. So we'll spend a couple of minutes covering things like community events and news. We'll spend a couple of minutes talking about some real estate tips, since, that's my specialty. And each episode will feature an interview with somebody noteworthy from the community. So I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm excited for this first season. There'll be 10 episodes in each one, and this is where I could really use your help, dear listener. This is where I could use your involvement. I want to know, who do you want to hear from this first season? If you visit theforteriepodcast.com, you'll see there's a link at the top that says contact, and that's the best way to get in touch with me. Send me a message. Let me know. Who do you want to hear from as a guest on the show? Or do you have a community event coming up this fall, October, November, December, that you'd like me to highlight in one of the episodes coming up? Either way, I'd love to hear from you. So head over to that website, click contact, let me know what you think. Now, for updates as I'm getting ready to launch this show, be sure to follow me on social media. I'm active on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. My handle is @BuyWithBrent, B-U-Y with Brent. And we're really just a few weeks to go. I think about 3 weeks. I'm excited to get started with the show. I can't wait. To share episode 1 with you. We're just a couple weeks out. Okay, bye for now.
You've been listening to the Fort Erie Podcast with your host, Brent Jones, a sales representative with RE/MAX Niagara Realty Limited Brokerage. Follow @BuyWithBrent on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram for updates. Subscribe to the Fort Erie Podcast on popular platforms like Apple Podcasts and Spotify, and catch a new bite-sized episode every week. Until next time.